Hello, welcome back to Grey the Gold Witch. Today we're doing a reading on messages from the universe. There's 5 piles today. The first is red jasper. The second is orange calcite. The third is clear quartz. The fourth is, I think this is turquoise. And the fifth is sodalite. So take a second and pause the video if you need to and meditate on the piles. Timestamps are linked below, and I will see you in your reading. Hey, pile 1, if you chose the red jasper, then this is your reading on messages from the universe. So we're going to look at the oracle cards first and then hop into the tarot. Firstly, we have let go. Second, we have journal, elixir, heaven's door, moon, and Cleopatra. When you are conquered, consider who wins. A queen must lead while a wife must follow, but both are diplomats. Be immortal, not defeated. The first thing Spirit wants to say to you, pile 1, is that it's okay that you're human, and that being human can be really difficult sometimes. And accidents happen, mistakes happen, and I'm seeing some perfectionism here, where I'm kind of seeing this as you having such a strong spirit and strong soul, that your soul knows how things inevitably will pan out, but obstacles in your road can be kind of disheartening, or mistakes you make might make you feel like things are going awry. And Spirit's saying that's not true. You are human and accidents happen, and they're here to teach you something. We're in a school of hard knocks, I'm hearing, and life isn't always easy. There are ways that we can make it more satisfying and more fulfilling for us, but sometimes stuff happens, and that's the first message coming through, is that whenever you notice yourself holding on tightly when hard stuff is happening, you're meant to surrender to what's happening in your life and trust that your higher power has a plan for you, because you are definitely headed in the right direction, and sometimes being a human is frustrating, but it's just the reality of this life. Like, we are humans, we make mistakes. Stuff happens that isn't ideal, but we keep moving forward. And I see that you are a very powerful presence, and I love that Cleopatra came out, because she's respected by so many, and her legacy has gone on for so long, even though she was from so long ago in ancient Egypt. And I'm seeing your fierceness in these cards, and the fact that you really can pack a punch and can do big things in your life. I'm also being reminded that even Cleopatra had difficult things happen to her and lessons to be learned, but what she's remembered for is her resiliency and her ability to fight for herself. And she's immortal now. She didn't let life defeat her, even though there were those obstacles in the way for her. I'm seeing that you have cats as spirit totems, and really it could be any kind of big cat, a tiger, a lion, a cheetah. But cats, I think cats feel a camaraderie to you because of your independence and resiliency and fighting spirit. So I'm seeing here that you are going to do amazing things with your life. Things are going to be very powerful, and exciting and inspiring, and you're going to really feel your power. But you have to consider surrendering part of your control to spirit, surrendering your control to spirit, and knowing that all you can do is act, and act with integrity, and surrender whatever the result will be to spirit, and believe that spirit has a greater plan that we can't see. There's some shadow work that spirit's wanting you to do, because everything has its shadow. Cleopatra had her shadow, and I think she befriended her shadow, and that's what you're meant to do as well. And maybe if you look up some shadow work prompts or questions that could really help you dig into your subconscious and figure out more about yourself, I think that would be very helpful, because there's some subconscious activity inside of you that wants to come forward. Like, what are the values behind what you want? What is the core of your goals in life and what you want out of life? Because I'm seeing in these cards that it's satisfaction and feeling heaven to the degree that we're able to here on earth. And you're not meant to do this through addictions or vices. You're meant to do this through consistent effort and work and staying in the present moment. You are meant to stay present to the life you're living as it unfolds, because that's where your true satisfaction lies. It's also where difficulties happen and things that we don't want to happen. But it's interesting, because I think Spirit is saying you're very close to achieving some beautiful goal. And there's something about you not really realizing how powerful you are to the people around you. Because the energy of the moon card here and the elixir card aren't of kind of, I mean, it has to do with how life affects you, but it has a lot to do with how you affect the lives of the people around you. That you make a much heavier impact on the people around you than you even realize and give yourself credit for. And you're almost this healing balm to people. You have a very spiritual presence, like an earth angel or something. And I'm seeing here that you can bring people to a level of peace and serenity on earth through your confidence, through your sense of self, through your humility. And I think you do a lot more work than you give yourself credit for. And you're meant to let go of what you have fears over, because I really feel like Spirit's going to take care of these things. And the more you do shadow work, the more you'll realize your power. You definitely are constantly communicating with the spirit realm and with your spirit guides, even if you don't consciously realize this. I think a lot of your power is in your subconscious, and that's why Spirit wants you to journal, is to bring this out. Also, right now, we're in a waning cycle of the moon, so I think you're meant, if you're watching this during the waning cycle, you're meant to be receptive to what's coming in. And once it becomes a new moon and then a waxing cycle, you're meant to act more. It's a very intuitive thing. It's something you feel like, okay, this is a time where I'm receptive to what the universe is bringing me. And then waxing cycles are often ones where I'm more intentional with my efforts. But I still must give Spirit. I still need to have faith that the results will be in everyone's highest good, and that Spirit has the greatest of plans for me. So yeah, I would keep very close eye on moon cycles, because I think you're very heavily influenced by the moon. Even in Cleopatra's crown here, we see a circle, and this is reminding me of a full moon. So the next full moon could be very significant for you as well. You're meant to let go of expectations of any outcome and just believe that you're being led in the direction of the highest good. Because I see that you're meant to be used as a channel for Spirit to or a way for spirit to help people on this plane. And you're very spiritually developed. Your soul is, at least, and your soul has a plan on what you're meant to do in this life. And you're meant to be diplomatic in your approach to the things that are happening in your life right now. And your soul's basically saying, we'll fight for you. We're fighting for you. You don't have to worry about things not working out, because we're leading you in the right direction, and any obstacles that happen, they're really meant to happen to lead you to the right place. So I feel a very strong sense of peace here. And this reading feels really scattered. But that's, I think, how it's meant to be. I think your life might be a little scattered right now. And you're just meant to know that things are working out the way they're meant to work out. And what you're yearning for, your soul is yearning for. And you're headed in that direction, even if you can't see it on a physical level. So we're going to look at the Alice in Wonderland Tarot. What does Paiwan need to know? King of Swords in reverse. Six of Pentacles. Five of Swords. Five of Pentacles in reverse. The World. And Seven of Wands. With the Ten of Pentacles on the back of the deck. Whatever difficulties you're going through right now are leading you exactly where your spiritual journey is meant to go. And you're working on behalf of your higher power at this time. And whatever you're doing, whatever experience you're having in life, no matter how small it might feel in the physical plane, it's very big on the spiritual plane. There's a negative energy around you, Paiwan, and I think it's pretty large. It's on a collective level. There are negative energies in our world right now. It's just kind of, we could talk about the patriarchy, we could talk about colonialism, we could talk about toxic masculinity, the list goes on and on and on. We could talk about monopolies, and we could talk about capitalism, or how capitalism has manifested. Anyway, I don't want to make any political statements, but what I'm saying is there's a negative energy working around you. And you're giving hope and light to people who've been affected by this negative energy. You're almost working as a healer in some sense. And healers are everywhere. They can be in business professions, they can be in healing professions, they're all over the place. Healers can even just work within their own communities. Whatever you're doing, though, is of significant value. And it's changing people's lives and their life paths for the better, because they realize that they actually have something to fight for in their life, and that they have more opportunities than they're realizing. And our lives are like a book, and there's multiple chapters, and one chapter can be filled with strife, but the next one can be healing, and the next one can be a success. It goes on in that way. And I'm seeing there's an external influence that this could be a person too. It could be a specific thing in your life. It doesn't have to be something large or collective. But the matter is that you're giving people hope where they couldn't see it. And I think they were hurt by what was around them. And you're showing them there's another way to live. There's another way to do their life, through how you perceive the world. It's the way that you operate, and you already see this negative force for what it is. My reading isn't telling you about this, you already know. You're very aware of what is hurting people around you in your world, and your way of fighting this is by healing people who've been affected by it and showing them that this doesn't have to control their life or dictate their life, and there's another way to live this. And you're giving people a sense of direction in helping them. And you're figuring out that there's a way to have security and stability while still doing things that don't disrupt your integrity. You're really living from your integrity, and you're working for spirit. And you're showing people a new way of life, and that it isn't always easy to live this way, but it's much more fulfilling and true to the soul and true to their spirits. This could even just be a way of perceiving the world, having an optimistic outlook, choosing your battles, and looking at when you are conquered, consider who wins. Sometimes when we lose a battle, we win the war. By losing the battle, we know what strategy we need to have to win the war against whatever that energy is. And that's what I'm seeing in these cards. These people have lost battles, but you're showing them that the war isn't over, and that they can win the war, metaphorically, of their life. You're showing them that there's another way. They're definitely saying you've done a very good job of this, and you're going to continue to help people. But you're meant to let go of these results. Let go of the fact that this negative energy exists, because you can't control it. You can have radical acceptance over it. Know that the more you heal from this, the more you can help people who've been affected by it as well. Just knowing that it exists, having radical acceptance, surrendering to what is, but knowing that how you respond to it is what's in your control. How are you going to respond to it? And that's by showing people that they're not alone. That there's another way of perceiving this, of choosing their battles, and still having a fighting spirit against this, and knowing that they're fighting for their lasting fulfillment and happiness. So you have a very powerful spirit, and you're doing something really, really cool, whatever it is. I'm very impressed by you, and you really are a trailblazer, and people are very lucky to have you in their lives in whatever capacity this might be. And Spirit's saying you might sometimes deal with frustration about things not working out perfectly for you. But you are doing such incredible work on a spiritual level that you can't even comprehend physically. So the main thing Spirit's asking you to do is be gentle with yourself, and know that you deserve any abundance that comes your way, any beauty that comes your way, because you are creating beauty on this earth and doing things that are priceless for people. So yeah, Pylon, this is what I'm getting for you. That was a really cool message. I'd like to thank your guides and my guides for helping channel this through me. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I will see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey Pile 2, if you chose the orange calcite, then this is your reading on messages from the universe. So let's get into it. We have Don't Stop, Create Art, Love, growing cardinal. And Jane Austen. And her card says, none of us want to be in calm waters all our lives. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. And there are as many forms of love as there are moments in time. Pile 2, I feel like there's been a lot of noise around you, a lot of voices and opinions about what you're doing and the art you're creating. Or maybe you're just noticing gossipy people around you, or people who you can tell are judgmental, and whatever the situation is externally, internally, it's affecting your artistic process and your ability to stay the course on your soul's path. And this isn't drastic or cause for concern, but the universe wants to point out that you are an incredible artist, a creator who has important work to create in your lifetime. And no matter what your situation is, if your goals haven't been panning out exactly as you want them to, if you are just feeling a bit discouraged in following your passions, following your dreams, this is the universe saying that those things you're passionate about creating, those things you want to do with your life, they are the right path for you. And the external noise and people's opinions might be playing too strong of an influence in your mind right now. Even just like made up beliefs about, or made up scenarios in your head about how people will perceive what you're making or what people are saying about you. And our mind can play so many different tricks on us. And you're being told that you don't have to allow people's opinions to affect your work and affect your craft. Because what you want to do is it's very soul driven. And you should not be worried or concerned about how other people feel about this. This is what you're meant to do in this lifetime. I'm thinking about Jane Austen and how she often in her books critiqued social conventions and how women were dependent on men for financial stability during the time she lived. Marriage during her time was a financial proposition that a woman had to... Women just were very influenced and controlled by men during her time. And that's just how her society was, and she critiqued that in her novels. And there's something about social convention here in modern times about the work you're making and you being scared of people thinking you're too far out of the status quo or doing things that are different, but you're being urged to be different, and you're being urged to make a stand and create what your heart is calling you to create and not worry about other people's opinions. Because the people who matter will support you, and the people who matter or don't matter won't. And that's just how it'll be. And this is honestly a great way for you to navigate friendships and relationships and know who's worth your time and who isn't. Because your art should be your first priority and everything else should be secondary. Because you're a leader, you are somebody who's meant to start these projects and have them come to fruition and do something really meaningful with your life. And you're meant to continue to do this and not let any externalities affect this, any negative criticism, any negative energies in general. Because negative energies are a part of life. Like, people talk about how a big sun casts a larger shadow. And so, like, yeah, a strong light attracts all sorts of insects. It's just, it comes with the territory of creating meaningful work. There will always be negative energy around. Your work is growing. Even if you can't see it, your work is growing like a rose. It's naturally evolving and growing, and you're meant to stay the course. It's so cool. There's 2 17s here, and they're the only numbers. And this reiterates that your craft is growing. You are making strides. This is happening. And you're entering a very fertile time in this art. I'm hearing something about how when your internal and negative judgments are heightened, that's the most fruitful time for you to create. It's like, don't let these internal judgments, your internal negative Nelly, stop you from making this art, because you're at a very creative, fruitful time. And you're meant to come with this with a level of detachment, create what your heart wants you to create, and then leave the rest up to the universe. Leave the results, what happens after that, up to the universe. With the glove here, I'm thinking of gardening gloves and how people wear those to get their hands dirty in dirt. And there's something here about whenever you release this to the public, when you deal with other people in regards to this art, you're meant to have a level of protection, internal boundaries where you don't let their judgments affect you, because you know this is your soul's purpose and what you're meant to do. And there will be people who like it, and there will be people who don't. And you're meant to focus on the good, the people who do like it, and prepare for negative judgments with internal boundaries, knowing that you're not going to let whatever is said that's negative affect you. And take that in as information, because both the good judgments and the bad judgments are information you can use to know about people who are saying them, and also to know about your craft. And there's some criticism that's valid and there's some that's not, and you're learning discernment about both of those things. And allow yourself to experiment and try new things in your art. I love this says there are as many forms of love as there are moments in time. Remember that there's an infinite supply of creativity you can use, and going out in nature could help you when you need to re-up that supply in your creative juices. You are so protected here, Pile 2, and I see that you're doing something very meaningful. You're a trailblazer of some sort in the art you're doing. And whatever criticism is around you is unwarranted and should in no way affect your path. I'm thinking about the story of Hercules, and how Hercules had a lot of negative judgment towards him growing up, but whenever he broke through and showed people his powers, everyone was obsessed. People had very strong feelings towards him throughout his whole life, and that's something I'm seeing here. So don't let the negative judgments get you down, because getting anyone to feel anything, whatever the emotion is a major feat. So the fact you're doing that in your work and with what you're doing is impressive. I think whatever you're doing, you're also working with your hands, because I'm like moving mine around a lot, and there's hands here. And Jane Austen has hands. Wouldn't you know it? So Continue on your path. Don't stop. Don't let anyone else make you stop. And just focus on the work and the rest will follow. You don't need to think too much about what the results will be. Just focus on the work. A flower doesn't think about what the end result is going to be whenever it starts growing. It just does its thing, and then it turns into this beautiful rose. So I'm seeing that for you too. Now we're going to look at the tarot for more. My friend calls it tarot, and I love that. Tarot sounds great too, but tarot has a ring to it. And that was the first time I'd ever heard it said that way. So let me shuffle the tarot for pile 2. We have Death, 3 of Pentacles in reverse, 7 of Pentacles in reverse, the Empress in reverse. I'm hearing Hoax by Taylor Swift. Your faithless love's the only hoax I believe in. The Magician in reverse. Can we get a few more? 9 of Swords. 3 of Wands. I'm also hearing Tomorrow Never Came by Lana Del Rey with Sean O'Loughlin and the 8 of Cups. Okay. Wow, a lot of cards wanted to come out for you. I think you've been overthinking this a lot. I think you have some negative self-talk about the art you're making and what you're doing. And it's kind of put you in a little bit of stagnancy. We have the Queen of Swords on the back of the deck, and that's very important. Okay. Pile 2. Don't let the haters bring you down. I think you had an ending with some people you thought would support you in your path have failed to, and I'm thinking about how, in reality, all people can be artists, but some aren't open to that part of themselves. Everyone has their own path, but artists live life like it's art as well. We live our life as an art form. Living life is an art form. And that includes relationships we spend time with, the events the practices we uphold in our daily life. I think everything is art, if we choose to look at it that way. And part of the narrative you expected to have in your life didn't unfold the way you had planned. People walked away. Experiences that you thought would satisfy you weren't growing, and so you had to let them go. And these situations, I think, really hurt your confidence and trust in yourself and belief that you were this powerful manifester. And you've had a lot of anxiety about this, and you haven't been expanding, I think, out of a fear of what life's going to look like without these things you'd expected to have. The root of all suffering is having expectations. I fully believe that. We can act with, and then if we have no expectations towards that result, I think that's a much more peaceful way to live, because we aren't holding on too tightly to anything. Spirit's saying here, you need to be decisive and realize that these people or things couldn't come with you. They weren't meant to be a part of your story, and they weren't meant to affect your confidence in this way. I'm hearing this side of paradise on the Tropic of Cancer. You said you'd meet me there tomorrow, but tomorrow never came. That Lana Del Rey song. You had expectations that people would continue on your path, but that future never happened, and you're meant to mourn that path. Realize that you're better off without it, and walk away from it once and for all. And I think you already have walked away from it, but the reason you are feeling this stagnancy, this feeling of not being sure of yourself about the art you're making, worried about people's criticism, is because these people were very judgmental. It's almost as though these people have free rent in your mind, and their opinions have free written in your mind, or your projected belief of what their opinions are. And it's really affecting your ability to see yourself accurately and see your powerful nature and your ability to move forward. I'm seeing that you aren't seeing things accurately right now, and you're living with a lot of fear towards societal judgment. I'm thinking of the Scarlet Letter and being like an outsider to a group, and maybe these people weren't aligned with you and you had to walk away. Spirit guided you away from them for more fulfillment. And right now, you're meant to continue to focus on your craft, continue to focus on your art. And as you do this, your confidence will come back. You're meant to tend to your garden, and your garden will grow regardless of these influences. I think the main thing here is that you're mentally meant to detach from these people once and for all, these experiences, and detach from their opinions, because I think you have some subconscious attachments to them, and also some grief still about your expectations not coming true. So you're meant to be logical about this, realize that these things couldn't have satisfied you, and they're in your past, and you're better off without them. And the more you pour into yourself and pour into what feels right to you, what gives your soul nourishment, and don't let your mind dictate your reality. Don't let the negative thoughts in your mind control your actions. Tell your mind no and do things anyway, despite the fear. You'll begin to expand. But you have to choose to walk away from these negative thoughts, this rumination on these past people, because they were holding you down. I can see that even when you were around them, they were fearful of your power and wouldn't let you step into it. And you couldn't be fully true to yourself here. And this isn't blaming those people. You just weren't energetically aligned, and that's not their fault and it's not your fault. But holding on to this, and it's almost as though you're holding on to this as though it's your fault. And the intention of you separating from these things was to move forward. But you have to choose to leave them behind to be able to move forward in the way that your soul wants to. So this is deciding once and for all that you've accepted this change in your life and you're going to move forward without it. And this is just continuing to do what feels right to you without fear of what they think, just leaving it in the past, caring for yourself, showing yourself that you honor your power and strength and resiliency, continuing to go down your path regardless of how it's different from other people's. I think you have to make these decisions with less emotion and more logic, because emotionally you still have attachments to these people, and you have to trust that what's happening in these situations is in your highest good and that you're headed for much better. Just continue moving forward and continue working on the things that give you joy and happiness, because they're destined, they're meant to happen. And I see this grief, and I'm sorry that you've gone through this, but it will end in your highest good. And it's letting you be true to yourself. And when you process this grief, you'll be able to really be confident in yourself and move forward in the way you want to. Because I see you hitting these roadblocks in creating your art, creating your craft, and it's because of this unprocessed grief. So that's the next step in moving forward for you, Pile 2. That's your message from the universe. I hope it was helpful. It was an honor to read for you, and I will see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 3, if you chose this stone, I believe it's clear quartz, then this is your reading on messages from the universe. So let's get into it. The first card we have here is Success. make a meal, wings, angel whispers, 11, and Rihanna. And Rihanna's card says, the better you are, the better it is. Sometimes you have to stick it out through the storm, and you have to be strong to let yourself be weak. Okay, pile 3. I feel like life might be a little chaotic right now. There's a lot of stuff and moving parts going on in your life. But the main thing I can see is that you are elevating in your life. And yeah, even with the card 11, that for some reason just reminded me of the word elevate. You're moving up, especially on a spiritual level. And I see you're transcending parts of your life that were limiting you or blocking you. And I mean, this card, it says it clearly, you're coming into success. And what I am feeling from your energy is that there's a lot happening all around you. A lot of obligations, a lot of experiences that are happening in your life. And things are moving so fast, you can't really see that this is a time of major success for you. And looking back on it, you're going to see how prosperous and abundant this time was. And how you really leveled up during this time. It feels as though because you're going through these spiritual upgrades, you might have your head more in the clouds. You might be more focused on, even subconsciously, you might be up in the clouds. You might not really know, like, why you're kind of spacey right now. I'm hearing you're a space cadet right now. And the main thing that Spirit's asking you to do is ground, and they're assuring you that success is happening and will continue to happen. But you're meant to take care of your basic needs, because whenever you're in the state of connection to spirit, when you're in the spiritual realm, mentally more than you're in the physical realm, you have to remember to eat and to take care of your basic needs. Clean your room, do what you have to do to make yourself come back down to reality and not disassociate. Because there is a level of disassociation in these cards because of how spiritual of an experience you're having right now. And the more anxious you feel, the more you're meant to just tend to your basic needs, tend to the basic things you can do, like your laundry, making food, getting rest, whatever you can do to take care of your basic survival needs is necessary right now. And I see that this is a time where a lot of people are around you, or a lot of people, at least their energies are. This could be over the internet as well, so it doesn't have to be in person. But there's a lot of energy in your environment, and you're being reminded that your energy is sacred, and to be conscientious of who you share your energy with and if it's worth your time and energy, because you don't want to put yourself into too many pots or have your hands into too many things and not have enough time spent on yourself. I'm definitely seeing even by next month you'll look back on this time and see how prosperous it was for you. And things won't be this sped up and fast forever. But this is a time you're really coming into success, and your confidence will be rising, and you'll just feel so much more like your physical reality is reflecting your internal reality. I'm seeing another way for you to take care of yourself during this time is to dress up for yourself. Take good care of yourself. Take the utmost of care of yourself during this time, because whenever you look good, you feel good. That's a subconscious thing. And it's also okay to be vulnerable while you're confident. It's okay to be vulnerable and be confident. You can hold both of those things in yourself. And I'm feeling that you're in the midst of some sort of storm of energies, and energies of people who also aren't on the same wavelength as you. And right now is the time where you are flying over that storm and seeing what contributes to your life and what doesn't. Because the phrase I was looking for is, it looks like you have too many eggs in too many baskets. And you're meant more to streamline where you focus your energy. There's definitely a lot of energies trying to have a say in your life, have influence over what you're doing. And even if this is in small ways, and you're meant to be confident and stand up for yourself in a way that Rihanna would. You're meant to fight for yourself and keep your energy sacred. And tend to your garden, tend to your basic needs. And all of this commotion is going to clear. The storm's going to clear. You'll be able to see things with fresh eyes. Just know that you have a lot to give people. You have a lot of beauty to give the world. And we have a finite amount of energy and time that we can invest into things. And you're meant to be more intentional with what you're investing your time and energy into. And whose opinions you let affect you. Who you let's presence matter in your life. There might also be hiccups and obstacles in your way right now that are making you worried about if the success is really happening, if your dreams really are manifested into reality. And I'm hearing, don't let the storm fool you. Don't let the noise fool you. Things are coming together in a very harmonious way. Sometimes life can just be chaotic. Sometimes there can be this disarray and these stressful experiences. But as long as you tend to your basic needs and know your worth and show up for yourself in a confident way, you will be successful. And the success is promised to you. It's just a matter of time. There's a big thing here about realizing that noise will come, people's opinions will come, and it's up to you mentally on whether you're going to let these opinions and these bumps in the road affect you. It's like mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. And if you can set these internal boundaries, you'll have a lot more peace when these bumps in the road happen. And you can just take them in stride and know that you're going to be fine no matter what. Because in the end, this time is very successful. You are very abundant. You are coming through in Rihanna energy, and that's very impressive because she's a baddie. And it's okay to admit that there's things in your life right now that are disruptive and annoying, and you can hold that and also hold space for yourself and not let it rain on your parade. Spending time in nature could also be very healing for you during this time as you navigate these ups and downs of life. And I can see that regardless of whatever's happening around you, you're on an incline up. You're on a very good path and you have a very solid foundation here. And you will have victory. And you're also just meant to have mercy on the people who are on different wavelengths than you and don't align with your energetic frequency at this point, because we're all on our own spiritual journeys and we're just meant to have compassion towards those people, but we also don't have to let their energy affect us. So let's look at the tarot cards for more information for you, pile 3. I'm hearing Havana by Camila Cabello. Yeah, I'm really feeling there's just obstacles into you meeting a goal or knowing if a goal is working out. And That could be people, places, or things. And the goal could be a person, a place, or a thing. Obstacles affect you and affect your mind state. Okay. That card seems to have wanted to be left out. Okay, for some of you, this could be a romantic situation that you're wanting things to move faster. And I'm even hearing my heart has wings and I can fly. This is love. It's from Cinderella. So that movie might have some significance. There might be some metaphors in there for you. Yeah. So there might be obstacles in the way of you coming into union with somebody that you want to. Take it how it resonates for you. It could also be a goal or whatever it might be. But I'm seeing just take care of yourself and know that things will work out and that you should trust in the divine, that things are coming in the way they're meant to. And don't let these obstacles hurt your confidence. We have the Page of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Ace of Wands in reverse, the High Priestess, and the Tower. We have one more card. Two, I guess. Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Swords. Whatever's happening for you in terms of love, in terms of relationships, there's a divine path here, and some of you might be further on your journey, and some might be earlier on this path. So I'm seeing two distinctly different camps of people here. There's something here about you being led to the right people, and that any difficult relationships are going to help you raise in your confidence, and the more you build a solid foundation for yourself in your life, the more prepared you'll be for other relationships. So I'm going to talk about the first camp of people, and these are people who feel like they need to get it together and they're feeling pretty overwhelmed by their spiritual journey. And the second group is people who have been on their spiritual journey for a while and have had that moment where they had to get it together and learned how to take things in stride. What I'm seeing immediately is that this has been a road with a lot of obstacles and not really knowing what direction to take, and also a lot of frustration in how things have panned out, how things haven't worked out, how you've felt misled or misguided in different directions, different turns you've taken. And the reason this happened was because you were a beginner. You were new to all of this. You were new to these experiences in life, and you were meant to gain life experience. And I'm seeing that you, from egoic stance, have a lot more anxiety that might not be necessary about when people might not have interest in you, or whenever people might not align with you on your path. And that's simply because they're not on the same energetic vibration as you, and you're not meant to align. And I think you take it personally. But for you to really find your the relationships that are meant to align with you, the people that are meant to really spend a long period of time with you, you have to lose the idea that them leaving your life says anything about your worth or value. And I'm seeing that you are going to continue to have experiences where people come in and out of your life until you realize that how they feel towards you has no indication of your value and just means that you, or your worth, and you guys were just not aligned on an energetic level. Because for you to get on the energetic level of the people that you're really, your soul's craving, the people that you want to spend your lifetime with, and the people you want to invest time in, because you know what that person, or if this is in love, you know what that person looks like on an energetic level. But for you to meet them where they're at, you have to trust that whatever is meant for you will stay, and whatever isn't aligned with you will leave your life. It's one of those paradoxes where you have to be okay with detaching and knowing that if things are meant to stay, they'll stay, and if they're meant to go, for something to stay that really sticks. Because your experiences in the past were meant to teach you to really know your worth and not place it in other people, but place it internally like Rihanna has. I think listening to Rihanna's songs could be really powerful for you right now because she has a lot of self-love, self-motivation songs. Umbrella is the one I'm hearing immediately. So you're going to continue to have these experiences where people let you down, people hurt you, people walk away until you don't take this behavior as an indication of your worth. Because when people leave your life, your confidence dips and then you have to regain it again, and then someone comes in and it dips again and you have to regain it, then you don't have the proper internal boundaries to bring in these solid relationships that will last. Your worth can't be dependent on other people's care for you or presence in your life. So, if you are still feeling like you haven't learned this lesson and you don't work to change it, then you're inevitably going to deal with someone again who hurts your confidence, and the situation ends painfully until you learn this lesson of how your confidence has to come from within and can't be dependent on other people. Now, for those who have learned this lesson, the group twos, and group one, you can stay and listen to this. I feel like you deserve to know what, because group twos are just people who are further along on your journey. For group twos, they've learned that this confidence comes from within them, and that they have a trust in spirit that they are going to be led in the right direction. And I'm hearing that song Oceans by Hillsong. It's a Christian song, but it's pretty, and it talks about where oceans rise, where feet may fail, and trust that spirit will take them where they're meant to go on their journey, and doesn't hold on tightly to things because they know what's meant for them will come in. And that's what I see the group two of this pile doing, is they believe whatever's meant to leave their life is spiritually guided, and they trust in the ending. And because they do this, they know from their past experience, from the experience they've garnered that group one went through too, or is going through too, group two realizes where their worth stems from. And I really feel like their relationship, even on a subconscious level with spirit, steers them where they're meant to go and steers them into lasting financial stability and stability in themselves. And when they're in this place of confidence in themselves and living their best life, and they might have a cat at this point, and pictures on their wall in frames, their person will come in. I'm hearing all roads that lead me here. And this group two person will know they've been led through this by spirit, and that everything's working out in divine timing and divine plan, and they'll have a peace as to how things are going to come together because they know they will. Because they know what's meant for them won't pass them by. So, Pile 3, you are finding, regardless of what group you're in, you're finding the people you're meant to spend life with, but first you must find that person in yourself. You must find confidence in yourself. And I'm seeing that this road is confusing and long and frustrating, but you're going to be very proud of yourself for getting to this point. And this is making you into the person you're meant to be. And sometimes you have to stick it out through the storm. And whoever comes in, because I see a beautiful love coming in at the end of this journey, or not the end of this journey, but up to the point we discussed, I see a beautiful love coming in. And it's after you've already formed this beautiful love with yourself. And you're meant to take this in stride and just live your life through, but Spirit wanted to let you know that this is a destined path you're going down, where you learn how to find worth within yourself and not let any external reality affect that. So, yeah, Pile 3, this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my readings. Personal readings are available right now, linked in the description box, and I will see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, if you chose this stone, then this is your reading all on messages from the universe. So the first card we have for you is Remain Positive. The second is Watch a Movie. The third is Snail. The fourth is Opportunity. The fifth is Descendant. And the sixth is Ricky Martin. Sex is like an exercise. Practice and discipline are essential. The crowd can go wild, but love is something only your secret heart can know. Keep your friends like your bathing suits tight. The first thing that this spread is reminding me of is when I was waiting to hear back on a major decision a few years ago, and somebody told me to just relax and go get my nails done. And I remember at the time I was like, why would I get my nails done in a time like this? Because I was going to hear whether I'd gotten something or not the next day, if I'd been accepted into something. And the person who said this knew that I probably was going to get accepted, but I didn't know this. And I was so stressed. And the next day I ended up getting accepted, and it was this massive event in my life. And yeah, this energy from Spirit is like, remain positive, go watch a movie, like relax. You're waiting for this to come in, but and the overall vibe here is that it's going to be great, that things are going to work out, but it's a matter of timing, and you're in the waiting period of this event. And Spirit's saying, remain positive, find ways to calm yourself down, and get out of your mind. That's a big thing right now, is just getting out of your mind, getting out of overthinking. Allow yourself to stay positive and just do what you can in the present moment to make this time more enjoyable for you. Because regardless, I'm seeing that there's going to be an opportunity, or there's going to be whatever you are wishing for. If it's in love, you're waiting for a decision to come back, something significant like that. There will be this experience. It's in the cards. You are going to have. This is coming around soon. But all you have control over right now is how you manage this time before this event happens. It's like this event's happening on a calendar. It's scheduled for like a certain time in the future. And the date is locked and sealed, and you can't change it. You're not going to have the answer or the experience until this date occurs in the calendar. So you have all this free time before this that you're meant to just accept and surrender to the fact that it's not happening right now. Stay positive that this will be a beautiful thing, and do what you can to just relieve yourself and enjoy this time. But there is this anticipatory vibe here, like these butterflies of being excited for this encounter, or this experience, or this answer, whatever it might be. But all you have control over right now is yourself, and you're meant to relax and just care for yourself and do whatever you can in the present moment to give yourself peace. My cat is sitting on my lap for your reading, and this is reminding me of emotional support and doing things right now that give you that support and that security. Because I can see whatever you're asking about, or whatever this big thing is, it's going to be amazing. You have a lot to look forward to, but you're in the waiting period. I talked in another reading recently about how the feeling of the pile felt very anticipatory, like they were waiting for a concert where their favorite band was going to play, and that person doesn't get to control when they come on stage, when their favorite band comes on stage, but the feeling is excitement, and that's what I see here. So don't overthink this and make it fearful for you, because this is a very exciting experience you're coming into. And with the Descendant here, I see that what's coming into your future and your external environment is what you want out of your external reality. It's what you've been looking for. It's what you've been hoping for. And it's going to be very special, and you can be completely yourself in this environment. I'm seeing that you can be true to yourself, and the people around you are going to resonate with you and be on a very similar wavelength that you're on. There's something about music here. Music might be helpful, calming your nerves. And friendships right now will be helpful for you. But right now you're in this waiting stage, and I see that, and I know that's frustrating, but this is Spirit's confirmation that there will be a climax here. Luna, what are you doing? Luna's like trying to open this box. So I feel this feeling of like you, Luna, it's okay. That box doesn't have to be opened right now. I have this feeling like you are just wanting to open a box. Like, it's like, the metaphor is like your birthday's in a week, but you can't open your birthday presents you're meant to open on your birthday, but you want to open them right now. It's that kind of feeling. You're just ready for this to happen. And it's going to be exciting, but good things come to those who wait, and you're meant to wait and trust that you can be yourself in this situation, and that everything will unfold naturally, and you don't need to overanalyze it right now. This is something you're meant to experience the present moment up to this point, and experience this exciting event in the present moment. You're not meant to just focus on this event happening. You're meant to enjoy the journey to get to this point. And I'm seeing this being a very exciting time for you, and you just being very happy about your life and where you're headed. And I see you're protected, especially with this circle around this girl. You are going to experience this event. It's in the cards for you. You have nothing to worry about this unfolding. It'll happen in divine plan and divine timing. So now you just have to tend to what you can care for in your garden, metaphorically, your life. What you can do in your life to fulfill your needs until this happens. What's cool about this event is it's reminding me of this card that says Under a Spell in a different deck. Maybe I'm meant to pull a card from that deck. I think I will for your pile. But it talks about how to know if you're truly under a spell. Snap out of it. Snap out of all of the lovey-dovey or exciting feelings you're having towards this thing. And if it still feels great, that means it's real. And what I'm seeing for you is that if you snap out of this, it's going to still feel real. It's the excitement's still going to be there. The beauty's still going to be there. And you'll feel more confident in yourself knowing that you don't have to overanalyze this. You can just experience it and enjoy it. And the moment is coming soon. So just enjoy your present moment with faith that this will arrive when it's meant to. And that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to plan. You just have to live your everyday life until it happens. So I'm going to go get that deck because I think I want to see what the cards say. This is the Iris Oracle deck. I feel like it's significant for your pile. Okay. What does pile 4 need to hear from the Iris Oracle? Okay, it feels like just that card. Healing through rest. You might be sleeping more than normal. I also, cornucopia is on the back of the deck. You might be sleeping more than normal right now, and that's okay. You're healing through some karmic blockages towards this opportunity happening. And you are meant to rest during this time and take care of yourself. And if you're up late right now, you might be asked to go to sleep right now. I feel like Spirit's just saying that your dreams might also have some significance here. And I'm thinking about how all these numbers are decreasing, and that just shows this is like a countdown clock till your experience happens, till this moment happens. But you can rest now, and resting right now will better prepare you for this experience to come into. I'm hearing Looking for America by Lana Del Rey right now, so that song might be significant to you. We're gonna ask the tarot. Oh, also there's a crescent moon here. Maybe this experience is happening during a crescent moon. Okay. Let's see what this wants to say. Princess of Pentacles in reverse. 8 of Cups in reverse. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. King of Wands in reverse. And the Fool in reverse. With the Hierophant on the back of the deck in reverse as well. Okay, pile 4. You aren't going to know when to move forward until you properly rest, until you take time to yourself to heal and to have that space to yourself. Because what I'm seeing in your cards is that you're very much in your head right now about how this is going to turn out, what's going to happen, if you're doing things correctly, if this is a bad situation for you to go into. You know where this is going to happen. I see that you know the location of where this is going to happen, but you're scared to take this jump into this new situation. There's a situation here where you might feel obligated to do something else, and you're meant to stand up for yourself and do what feels right to you. You know the situation that isn't going to give you long-lasting fulfillment, and you know what is. And there's something that you might need to, and it's not a big thing, but there's something that a small thing might be in the way of you having this opportunity or this experience. And you're meant to go where it's warm. You're meant to do what feels right to you. And admit to yourself that you're a little scared of this new experience happening and what your life is going to look like afterwards. I think you're being asked to take a leap of faith here once you've rested, because you won't be able to have a level-headed approach to this unless you rest and stop overthinking it. It's like taking a day or two away from this and coming back to it, and you'll know your decision. Yeah. The Ace of Swords is what I just saw. It's almost as though you already know the answer to this. You know when this is coming in, and you're just jittery about what it's going to look like, and you're fearful you don't have all the answers. But you don't need to have all the answers right now of how this is going to turn out, what this is going to look like. You don't need to know where this is going. Besides, I was talking so much about the present moment. You're not supposed to know 5 years down the line what this is going to look like. You're just meant to know how it makes you feel in the moment. And you're being really critical of yourself and if you're ready for this. And I see that you are, but your mind can be your biggest strength or your worst enemy right now. And you're meant to have the perspective of the fact that you are enough as you are. And you can be yourself in this situation, and you don't need to fear what this will turn out to be. You don't have to fear this. It feels like a jump into the unknown, and I can see why you're fearful. But this is one of those spreads that it really feels like it's up to you to take action, to change your mindset on this, to have confidence in yourself, and to take a risk. And do this after you've rested, after you've had some healing time. You don't need to act immediately. You'll know when it's time to act. This is one of those things that you have to be confident that no matter what happens, you'll be okay. No matter what happens, Pile 4, you're going to be okay. So you might as well do what your intuition is guiding you to do. You're meant to be confident going into this, and don't let your past experiences trigger you into not being confident in this situation. Don't let your past experiences dictate how this will go. I want to look at another deck for advice for you. So this is a deck that has mantras in it, and it says, I think it would be helpful for you to work through some of these limiting beliefs. I'm hearing to go slow with this. Take your time. You'll know when you want to act, but don't let yourself stagnate or stall because you're fearful of what this is going to look like. Okay, I want to draw these cards now. Okay. We have, I take great care of what I value on the back. I am worthy of the deepest kind of love. 4 of Swords, I take the time I need to rediscover my vitality. 6 of Wands. I am proud of what I achieve and accept my rewards. Knight of Cups, I know that the right person waits until I'm ready. And King of Cups, I am my own anchor. Oh my god, this is all so relevant, Pile 4. This is beautiful. The reason you're dealing with these cognitive distortions and these fears is because of the pain you've been through in the past, betrayals you've been through in the past. You've had to be very strong and really fight for yourself and take care of yourself. You've had to heal yourself in past situations where people hurt you. I'm really seeing this being relational. And for a lot of people who are watching this group, this has to do with love. And romantic love. It doesn't have to for everyone, but I'm strongly feeling that feeling of falling in love. And you are worthy of the deepest kind of love. And I love that I take the time I need to rediscover my vitality came out, because you don't need to act impulsively in this. Take the time to heal yourself until you feel confident about going into this situation. And trust that this situation gives you the room to grow into the person you're meant to be. You don't need to come into this situation already completely healed, already figured out, already perfect. Because we're never perfect. So trust that also allowing this to go slow and continuing to be independent on your own will be really helpful too. And taking space when you start to feel codependent or in any way dependent on this person. So I think a very important thing for you to remind yourself is that you're safe in this situation, and this situation isn't the same as the things you went through in the past. But it feels like right now you're not ready to experience this. You need to rest. And when you're feeling confident, when you're feeling ready to go forward, you'll know when the time is right for you. You need to know that you're worthy of this deep love. You're worthy of having someone care for you in this way. And it's okay for you to grow within this relationship from the Knight of Cups to the King of Cups. Both of you are going to grow. But yes, these limiting beliefs you're dealing with, this fear you're dealing with, comes from past experiences, past heartbreak. And to recognize that, consciously say to yourself, this is not my past. This is not my past experience. And I can take care of myself. I take great care of myself. Saying those positive affirmations to yourself will give yourself more strength in this situation. The main thing I'm seeing here is that you should move forward when you feel confident and when you feel like you are ready to entertain this situation. And it's on your time. This is on your time. This is on your path. And give yourself the time you need to be ready to take this next step, this leap of faith. This is really beautiful, Pile 4. And this reading definitely didn't go exactly, like I ended up pulling cards I didn't expect to pull, or decks I didn't expect to pull, and I think that this might just be going in a way that you hadn't foreseen or couldn't have planned. And you're meant to just enjoy the ride and enjoy the changes in the tides and know that everything's working out best case scenario for you. You're learning what you need to in this experience, and allow yourself to be aware of the triggers you feel. Give yourself the time to heal. Give yourself the time to breathe. And you'll know whenever you feel confident enough to walk towards the situation, and I see it being within a matter of days. So, yeah, just put yourself first here. Don't feel like there's any rush or pressure. The right person waits until you're ready. So, allow yourself to go slow with this. Don't feel like there's any rush. So, yeah, Pile 4, this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my readings, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 5, if you chose the Sodalite, then this is your reading. All on messages from the universe for you. So the first thing that I'm channeling is Lights by Ellie Goulding, and I haven't heard that song in a very long time, so that song definitely might have some significant messages in it for you. So let's look at your oracle cards. We have Be Assertive, Abundance Planning, School, Releasing. I just heard Khaleesi in my head, so Game of Thrones might be significant. Ascendant, and Sigmund Freud. And this card says, the virtuous content themselves with dreaming what the wicked do in real life. Behavior of a human in sexual matters is often a prototype for the whole of his life, and pure masculinity or femininity is not to be found. So the first thing that's coming through with these cards is that you're in a new era of your life, and I think you have the spiritual enlightenment to know that you're always changing and evolving, and you can always leave parts of yourself behind and release parts of your life that no longer serve you. You can always start anew. And what I'm seeing from the universe is that you are very in tune with the death to life cycles. You know that life can only be, it's preceded by death. And I feel a wisdom here to the flow of life, and that you know why these cycles operate the way they do. And I'm seeing that you are learning that you can magnify any trait within you that you enjoy and like, and you can also meditate on traits within you that you dislike, analyze why they're there, where they came from, and you can work around them to use them to your benefit and not let them affect you in a negative way. I'm seeing that it's like your life is a garden, and you're tending to the things that are fruitful, and you're letting die what must die in your life. and not in a morbid way, just in a this is how it is kind of way. And I'm seeing that your power and your self-confidence and also your positive traits, the traits that magnify people to you, that are good qualities, they are expanding at a rapid rate. And I think you are letting more insecure past parts of you fall away and letting a more confident person take shape. You're meant to stand up for yourself in any situation right now and only allow events in your life that are deserving of your worth. And if you're in situations that are treating you less than you deserve, you're meant to analyze why you might allow these situations in your life. I see that you're very wise, and psychoanalysis could be helpful for you. And I think you even just researching it on your own, looking into the subconscious, seeing why human patterns of psychology and of behavior, seeing why we act the way we do, could help you in releasing things that no longer serve you. I'm seeing that you have, the more you release that isn't serving you, the more beauty you can bring into your life. And I see that this could be done with like the snap of a finger. You have a very radiant spirit, and your spirit's ready to ascend and continue growing and show all that you're capable of doing in this human life. I'm seeing that even this shadow work can be fun because the psychoanalysis is going to help you master your craft more and understand yourself more. And I love how readers talk about how the shadow self is someone to befriend and to know. It's not someone to cast away, because there's valuable things within the shadow. There's things that society deems are too powerful, or we might have suppressed when we were weaker. And there are things that are tools for us. You can find some very valuable things within the shadow self. I think your assertiveness lies in your shadow work. The more you do this shadow work, the more assertive you'll be able to be and confident in yourself. I see a very beautiful future for you. I think you might have been treated as less than you deserve to be treated as in the past. And you're fully coming to heal and release these things during this time. And Spirit's saying that you are a co-creator with them, and you're a very wise soul who has all of the skills within you need to succeed and bring this beauty into your life. And don't let anyone make you weak during this time, because I'm seeing a very powerful person in you, and Spirit wants you to make the most out of this precious life every day we have, and also just treating yourself with the worth you deserve to treat yourself with, because you're a very beautiful soul who deserves a very beautiful life. And anything that tells you otherwise in your mind is a complex or a cognitive distortion, and you need to analyze those and get rid of them. I'm hearing Because of You by Kelly Clarkson, so I'm sure people in the past made you take on some of these things, and it's in your power to analyze why they're there and get rid of them. You're limitless. You can really shine a light on these negative insecurities and remove them from your life and move forward in a really powerful way. You're the one who holds the power here, and any other way of thinking about it is an illusion. You're a very enlightened soul, and Spirit's really saying that you can make out of this what you want to make out of it, and by healing yourself of any negative beliefs, you'll continue to bring abundance in and beauty in. And you're meant to stand up for yourself, because if you don't stand up for yourself, who will? That's a very valuable quote I've heard. And it's up to you to be your biggest cheerleader, be your biggest ally, and allow yourself to grow into this beautiful version of yourself. The people you look up to, you who are role models in your life, you look up to them because of the traits they have in them that you also have, that you want to embody more. So by being aware of that, you will be better equipped to come into this abundance. And the same goes for people who have negative traits that you don't like. Those negative traits are things you don't like within yourself. And by analyzing that and seeing how you might not want to act, you'll come into a more conscious approach to your life and a self-mastery that is priceless. So I want to look at the tarot cards now. For pile 5. What messages do we have for pile 5? The 4 of Wands in reverse. The 7 of Swords in reverse. The 5 of Wands. I'm hearing Guilty Conscience. It's a song. Page of Wands. Ace of Wands. And the Lovers is on the back of the deck. I also want to pull a few additional cards. Okay. So we have the Sun, I am optimistic and celebrate all I have. And 10 of Wands, I love and care for myself first. Okay, so with this release and with this goal here, I'm very much seeing that the way forward for you is to remove all of the weight and expectations and judgments you might feel other people have on you. Your main priority is to love and care for yourself first. And I'm seeing that as long as you stay true to your values, what matters to you, what you care about, beauty will come in. And by letting the past, like laying the past to rest, the pain you've been through in the past, the betrayals, the half-truths and missed opportunities, whatever they might be, by laying them to rest and fighting for what you really care about and allowing yourself to believe in yourself and believe in your passion and believe that there's a beautiful life ahead for you. By having this hopeful outlook, you're going to come into a lot of peace. I'm seeing that there's expectations and weights you're carrying that aren't conducive to you fully coming into your highest self. There's things from the past that have made you less confident. And the way you become more confident is by accepting that they happened, but also knowing that you deserve a better reality. And I see that you have a passion, you have an intuition on what makes you light up, what makes you happy, there's this magnetic pull you have towards different things in your life, but the burdens you carry make it harder to walk towards these things. And you're meant to let these go. Make sure that you are choosing yourself and your happiness above all else. The more you choose yourself, the more you take care of yourself and tend to your garden, the more beauty will come into your life. The more you focus on pleasing other people, the more burdens, the more of these wands will stack up. So it's almost as though you have to get the extra noise out from away from you and be assertive about what you care about, what matters to you. And know that you're not always going to agree with people, you're not always going to have the same opinions as people, but that doesn't make your opinion any less valid. There's enough space in this world for you to be all that you are. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. I see you making some very beautiful memories and exciting things in your life by following what makes you happy, following what feels right for you. You're just not meant to tire yourself out by thinking about everyone else's expectations, and you also have to think about the limitations that they have that cause them to act in this way, and the projections they have that they project onto you. You're also meant to let go of the things that you had hoped would work out in the past that might still burden you, might still weigh on you. And just trust that your true sun, your true north, is where you're headed now. This is believing that there's a bigger picture for you. And focusing on the good in your life now rather than what could have been in the past. Because the past is over. There's nothing we can do about it. It's in a sealed box. And all we have control over is right now. So, choosing to take care of yourself, pick your battles wisely, pick what matters to you, and don't let the noise block out. It's almost as though there's this note ringing that you're meant to hear that's leading you to your destiny, and there's all these other notes playing around you. And you're just meant to focus on your note and let it guide you where you're meant to go. And you can lean on spirit through this and know that this isn't easy. This is a universal experience in the human experience to have. I mean, we have minds that have memories, and we attach stories to these memories. And our ego creates these stories, but you can trust that just because things in the past didn't work out exactly the way you had expected them to, that beautiful things are coming in for you. And you're just meant to release the burdens of the past. That release card is very clear here. Let fall away what must fall away so that new can come in. And maybe even doing some sort of releasing exercise could be helpful for you. I'm thinking of a garden again where when a garden dies, there's dead leaves that have to be pulled out and gotten rid of. They don't just fall away naturally. And that's what I'm seeing here. And rather than focusing on what's gone in the past, focusing on what can be in the future, I think will be really helpful for you. So I want to pull a few Iris Oracle cards too for you. Okay. We have sitting on top of the world, a sheep who wandered and found a different shepherd. Make it look like the night. An ungrateful daughter and earthly mother. Yeah, we've been seeing this pattern in a lot of my tarot readings. You can't see the light without the dark. And a lot of the experiences in your past that didn't work out were because the people around you were surrounded in ego and were selfish, and you have wandered and found a different way of living. And you see things from a very high perspective. And you're on the right track. You're doing everything right. But you do have to go through a night for sunrise to happen. It's just the natural cycle of life. Life follows death, death follows life. It's just the many paradoxes of life, right? So allow yourself to release these things. And you can psychoanalyze it and come to realizations about why these patterns of behavior happen inside of you and outside of you. The main thing that I'm seeing, that I'm drawn to here, is the sheep who wandered and found a different shepherd. You chose not to be a sheep where other people were being sheep, and you found a new way of life for you. And you're an original, you're different than the rest, and you have a higher perspective, and where you can see from a higher perspective, you can see all the good, but you can also see the bad. And you're being asked to release what you have no control over. You love and take care of yourself first, and you've done that, and you're doing everything right by doing this. So don't have any guilt or shame about the past, because you're headed in the right direction for yourself. Just continue to listen to that note that is taking you on the way to your destiny. So, yeah, Pile 5, this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my readings, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye.